Good evening. I'm Jason Jon Anderson, Executive Director here at Pablo Center, and I am so grateful for you joining us this evening. In 1926, the State Theater opened, bringing traveling vaudevillian tours to the region. And in 1936, an addition was added to the facility to ensure it could accommodate the needs of the creative economy for the region. 50 years later, in 1986, the Eau Claire Regional Arts Council performed a cosmetic renovation and reopened the facility, which continued to serve our community for another 22 years. When the State Theater was built, Eau Claire's population was 20,000 people. Chippewa's was 9,000 and Menominee's 5,000. The facility built in 1926 cost $315,000, or $4.5 million today. In 2012, the Confluence Project reached its inception point. And in 2014, 59% of the city populace voted in favor of providing one-time taxpayer funding of $5 million via a TIF district, and voters in Eau Claire County voted 54% in favor of providing one-time tax funding of $3.5 million to the project, a project that had begun to take shape just 9 short years ago. In the fall of 2018, Pablo Center at the Confluence opened. A year ago, we concluded our very first year, and I was so excited to share that we generated an operating income in our first season. We also had built our infrastructure and core team of staff from 5 to 16 dedicated individuals to support this 135,000 square foot facility. I shared that we'd worked with the owner of the building, Eau Claire Arts, to reduce the remaining capital debt to $11 million. And in the past year, only our second year, we've had significant success. We started the season in September with Cirque Mechanic and had 278 events on the calendar, a number that would grow to over 300. We also announced our partnership with the Eau Claire Children's Museum to provide reduced price tickets for members of the Play for All program. By March, we'd surpassed 100,000 guests through our doors, breaking our first year's attendance record. Throughout this year, our team had also worked with donors to reduce our capital debt from that $11 million to $5 million. And this is in thanks to very generous gifts and donations from patrons like yourselves. We've continued to listen, to adapt, and to ensure our selections are what you, our patrons in this region, wanted. We were gearing up to host our first Broadway show of Stomp, and our second season was looking to be a success. Then on March 13th, we were forced to close the facility due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This building that means so much to so many of us, this building that's at its best when it's producing 30+ events a month, went quiet overnight. But this building that carries the dreams and imaginations of a region did not stop. The core staff pivoted, and within a week, we were providing our region-shaping initiatives virtually. Our Artmobile art education program was moved online, providing step-by-step, at-home art projects that families could do together. We launched our Support Local, Support Art social media campaign that focused on our region's creators, makers, and artisans, ensuring that the hearts of our creative economy could be accessed through Instagram and Facebook. We were founding members of Together Chippewa Valley, a group of 20 nonprofits, a centralized campaign in response to COVID-19. From the onset, the goal of our involvement was to benefit the 8 primary affiliate groups who depend on their shows within Pablo Center for their very survival: the Chippewa Valley Symphony Orchestra, Eau Claire Chamber Orchestra, Chippewa Valley Theater Guild, the Eau Claire Children's Theater, the Chippewa Valley Jazz Orchestra, Eau Claire Jazz, the Chippewa Valley Writers Guild, and the Chippewa Valley Book Festival. Each received equal portions of our share of that campaign, over $1,185 each. At the end of March, I received a call from Gary Witt of the Pabst Theater Group in Milwaukee and Dana Frank of First Avenue in Minneapolis, who wanted to know if we could unite forces to help communicate the needs independent venues were facing. Within 3 days of that call, the National Independent Venue Association, NIVA, was formed. And since March, it has grown to over 2,500 venues across the country and has sent over 1.5 million letters to Congress advocating for our needs. Pablo Center serves as the captaincy for the state of Wisconsin, representing 73 venues and festivals across the state. We have more staff working on reopening task forces than any other venue in the country. Steve Knowlton, our front of house general manager, helped author the National Venue Reopening Guidelines. When we promised you that artist, guest, and staff safety is paramount, it is, and can be delivered because we have the A team of staff picked from national candidates to fill each of their vital roles that have become the family of service providers that Pablo Center is renowned for. Through NEVA, I've had the opportunity to work with our national representatives for the Badger State. And I was lucky to work with Congressman Kind as he authored the Encores Act, which provides a tax credit to venues on refunded tickets, ensuring across the nation venues' ticket refund policies mirror those of Pablo Center, which place the needs of you, our patrons, first. I've gotten to work in a bipartisan fashion with Congressman Gallagher, Senator Baldwin, and Senator Johnson on legislation that is on both the House and Senate floors, championed through the Save Our Stages legislative efforts. I'd like to personally thank Senator Baldwin and Congressman Kind for co-sponsoring our Restart and Save Our Stages legislation. We're hopeful that through NEVA's legislative efforts, we as a venue will find relief through Congress by the end of this September. In April, Pablo Center was successful in receiving funding as a small business through the Payroll Protection Program, the PPP, to retain our core staff through the end of June. And in July, the third season that took us a year to curate went on sale. But with the reality of COVID-19, and in consultation with the Eau Claire City and County Health Department, it was clear launching our delayed fall season in October would be very difficult. Now, this incredible cathedral that we've built, this beacon of possibilities, was never intended to sit dark. It's designed to host 25 revenue-generating events each month to cover our $2.2 million of fixed expenses each year. Pablo Center is built on partnerships. And one of those partners from the very beginning was Wind Technologies, who's based right here in Eau Claire. And together we pioneered streaming events and shows through the Paragon Live portal. Utilizing state-of-the-art encoding algorithms, we were able to stream our 14 high-definition cameras and high-definition sound to you right in your homes. And on Thursday nights, you've been able to watch Pablo streams, where we've presented an incredible collection of our region's musicians. And because of personal and corporate sponsors, all the proceeds donated to the artist tip jar went to those local musicians, ensuring our creatives survived this pandemic. We partnered with Uniting Bridges and Converge Radio to foster the conversations we as a community needed to have. And together, we've launched Conversations in Color that streams every Monday night and includes real-time question and answer sessions from the panelists. We successfully launched our Summer Education Day Camp series, first with Lego Mindstormers and then with Girls Who Code, ensuring that our use of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math continue to provide the youth of our region access to tools at the same time America competes in the return to the moon and the race to Mars. And that brings us to today. Our third season was titled Dream, Create, Inspire, a triad of words that describe the cyclical artistic process. And it would have been so very easy to face these last 5 months of no revenue with growing despair and to lose our direction. As someone most recently told me, ships are safe in the harbor, but it's not where ships are meant to be. This ship has a world-class crew, and we have dreams and aspirations that are meant to inspire you. We did not sit idle these last 5 months. We searched out and created opportunities to move Pablo Center and this region forward. We've chaired the Eau Claire Chamber's Reopening Task Force for the arts, entertainment, and amusement sector. We've partnered with the WEDC to serve as one of the 4 host cities for the filming of the statewide We Are All In campaign. And we've worked with Arts Wisconsin to continue to educate everyone on the impact of our creative economy on a local, regional, state, and national level. Most recently, we're working with the WEDC, Arts Wisconsin, and the Eau Claire Public Arts Council on promoting our creative workforce of Dunn, Chippewa, and Eau Claire counties at a state level. I'm pleased to announce that tomorrow, we're going to be opening registration for 60 lucky 6th through 12th graders to enroll in our Pablo Center Learning Pods program, providing supervised, safe, physically distanced classroom environments of 4 groups of 15 through the fall term, 20 spaces are being held for low to moderate income enrollees, with all 60 spaces meant to serve the region as a whole. With our integration of recording arts, technical production, LEGO Mindstormers, and computer programming, we anticipate this to be a sought-after program meant to provide a needed offering to parents and children alike through the fall. After the success of our free summer Pablo Streams experience, you can expect to see paid streams through the Pablo Streams experience this fall. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Stream events serve three key purposes. First, they provide much-needed escape for you, our patrons at home. Second, they provide artists with much-needed income. And third, they keep us as a building focused on our best attributes, which are the presentation of world-class events. Now, streamed events barely cover their hard expenses, and they'll never make up the loss in revenue that 25 live shows a month can cover. The math will just never work. But we do love getting to amaze you, our guests, with the technical Swiss Army knife we're lucky enough to create with each day. As we look to the future, beyond the fall, many questions remain well out of our control. On August 23rd, the core staff will move on to the Workshare program to preserve our precious operational dollars. And we look forward to welcoming our partner, UW-Eau Claire, and the music and theater arts students into the facility at the start of September. UWEC has partnered with Mayo on a daily health reporting app that our entire Pablo Center team will be using along with our partner, Visit Eau Claire. And I have to tell you that the triad of having higher education, tourism and hospitality, and the heart of the creative economy all in one facility is a magnificent combination that's just beginning to show you, our shared citizens, what we can do. For every $1 that's spent on a ticket in our venue, $12 is spent in the surrounding economy. That's $15.6 million of economic impact this last year alone. In our first 2 years, our economic impact has surpassed the one-time tax dollars invested in the project. And I have to say that as a citizen, that's an incredibly great investment, and we're only just getting started. In addition to the amazing things we're already doing, I'm pleased to share with you two major announcements tonight about programs for next summer. The first is a partnership with UW-Eau Claire and the ever-talented BJ Hollers, who's created the Midwest Artist Academy. And we're so excited that we'll be hosting their final performances here next July. The second announcement has been a dream of mine, drawn from my own experience of being part of the Williamstown Theater Festival 50th anniversary year. I gained a tremendous understanding for what an incredible summer theater program could be, and how we could create something very unique. How we could partner with UW-Eau Claire and Visit Eau Claire to produce a summer program that would serve the region as well as attract guests and performers alike from across the nation. Now, we started last fall with the inception of an idea, and over the spring became a model, and over the last month it started to be built. And at the end of next May, the Jamp Theater will be converted into a replica of the historic Globe Theater and will serve as the home of the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival. The goal will be to produce numerous productions over the course of the summer, providing you indoor air-conditioned entertainment in the months of June, July, and August, with the hope of producing original classic Shakespeare scripts as well as contemporary adaptations. I expect Wisco Shakes to become a staple to our state's creative economy. Now, I hope you're as excited as I am, and if you are, you can go into the One Cause app right now and make a donation, or you can go through the web portal to ensure that you're a founding donor to this incredible festival. I want to thank those founders who've already helped fund this program thus far and have ensured that we can continue the development of this region-enhancing festival. Please don't miss your chance to be a founder. Go online now or call us. There's operators standing by. So where are we today? You've heard a lot of numbers through this speech. You've heard me talk about the Capitol building debt and the operating expenses. In the last year, we've made great strides in the Capitol debt. We only have 8% left to pay on this incredible world-class facility. With your help, I know that we can retire the remaining $5 million of debt over the next 3 years. And for operations, we need 25 events a month just to cover our $2.2 million of fixed expenses each year. And I'd like to personally thank the donors who purchased the naming rights of this facility, the Pablo Foundation, for the very generous pledge of $511,000 a year through 2024 to ensure that our annual rent obligation is covered. This incredible gift has reduced our operating expenses to $1.75 million this year if we're unable to host any live events from now through June 2021. You've heard us say that we need to raise $500,000 to cover our expenses through December. We announced this bridge campaign just under 2 weeks ago, and through the support of donors like you, we've raised $250,000 as of today. We're halfway to our goal. Please help us make tonight a success. Get your name on the Legacy Donor Wall and participate in the bridge campaign tonight. Pablo Center, the building, is not going anywhere, and I'm hopeful that this A-team of staff, this family, it's the heart of Pablo Center, is not going anywhere either. I have hope in our federal legislative efforts, and I see that focus as a key ingredient to a successful path forward. 90% of independent venues will not survive this pandemic, but I want to ensure you, on behalf of the entire Pablo Center team, Pablo Center will be part of the other 10%, but we do need your support. The State Theater was built and opened 6 years after the Spanish flu ravaged this country in 1918. Well, I want you to imagine where we will be 6 years from now as we enter the 5th summer of the Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival and launch our 9th season as Pablo Center. Help us reach our 4th season, springboard us to our 10th season, and ensure the ongoing dream of Pablo Center is a continued reality.